Welcome, Kleschka Crew, to my 2021 off-season wish list for my team, the Angels. I'm going to go through all the wishes I hope to come true during this off-season. I just want one. Just one. Please give me one of these wishes. And I asked you guys for one wish on Instagram for your team. That's going to be towards the end of the video, so stay tuned. Right now, let's get into my wish list for the Angels. First things first, hire a new general manager, which we just did, and we got Perry Minasian? I don't know how to say it. I'll learn how to say it, but I'm happy this is the guy we signed. It was between him and the assistant GM for the Mariners. When you're looking at the Mariners and the Braves, I'd rather take the guy that's been working with the Braves. Playoff team, they've got talent, young and veteran leadership, so that is what I want for my team, especially on the pitching side, which they have. They got Ian Anderson, they got Mike Soroka, Max Fried, so that is a good trio of young starting pitchers. Whatever he did in Atlanta, I'm hoping he can do here with the Angels as well. I think the Angels made a good choice making him our general manager, and I hope it really does pay off going forward. Next, let's talk about the elephant in the room, pitching. We need it so bad, and I want to start by talking about Trevor Bauer, probably the biggest free agent pitcher on the market this offseason, and he just won a Cy Young. So he is on top of the world right now. I know he's looking to get paid, and he really just proved that he can be a top-tier pitcher. He had a 1.73 ERA. He struck out 100 exactly, and a 0.79 whip, winning the Cy Young. He has an amazing attitude. He's super confident, which I really would love to have that kind of attitude on the Angels. And he's a YouTuber, which I think is awesome. I love that he's getting athletes involved into the YouTube scene, and he is really motivating everybody else to do this. So that is a huge reason why I want Trevor Bauer on my Angels. He's from Southern California. I know a lot of people are like, oh, he's going to go to the Dodgers, which it could happen, but I don't want it to happen. I really hope that he would choose the Angels over the Dodgers. Trevor Bauer, we could use your attitude. You would easily be the ace, the leader, if you signed with us. Austin Kleschka would love for you to sign with the Angels. The next guy we're talking about is Charlie Morton, who has definitely shined in his years in Major League Baseball, more recently than early in his career, but last year was kind of a rocky year. He did step up in the postseason, but he had a 4.74 ERA, 42 strikeouts, and a 1.39 whip in the regular season. All I care about is that postseason experience. As long as he has a decent season and then he steps it up in the postseason, then I am perfectly fine with that. We need to get there. So if we get there and he's on the roster, I trust this guy in the playoffs. He has that experience. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to shut those batters down. So I like Charlie Morton as another signing for a pitcher. Next, we're talking about Masahiro Tanaka, who had a 3.56 ERA, 44 Ks, and a 1.17 whip in the past season. Not the best season, but Tanaka has had his bright moments. I wouldn't say he's below average at this point. I still think he can shine. Maybe a new scene, get him out of New York, and he does better. We've seen that happen with players before, like Sonny Gray. He wasn't that good with the Yankees, and he went to the Reds, and he turned into a totally different pitcher. Maybe that is what Tanaka needs, a change of scenery. What better place to come than beautiful sunny California, Masahiro? So let's make that signing. That's one that I'd like. The final guy I want to talk about for starting pitching is James Paxton. He had a rough season last year, but he has been known to shine. He has shown ace potential. And did you know this? The past 4 seasons, he has struck out roughly 30% of opposing batters. That is very impressive. So I would take a guy like James Paxton on our team. Really, almost any of these guys I named? No. All of these guys I named are huge upgrades for our rotation. But it doesn't end with the starting pitching. The bullpen also needs a ton of work for the Angels. The first guy I would want to look at is Liam Hendriks. Over the last 2 seasons, he had a 1.79 ERA, sub 2. So as long as he keeps that up, I'll be very happy. That'll be a huge upgrade to our bullpen. And a 6.71 strikeout to walk ratio in 110 1/3 innings. So that is the first guy I would want the Angels to look at for the bullpen. The next guy I would want us to look at is Kirby Yates, who did suffer an elbow injury last season, but he's had promising ERAs the last couple seasons with 1.19 and 2.14. That is great. Like I said, that would be a huge upgrade for our bullpen to get anybody with that ERA or even close to it. And the last guy is Brad Hand. Preferably, I like righties out of my bullpen, but you do got to have that lefty. You got to have a couple coming out of there. Brad Hand, in the last 4 seasons, 4 out of the last 5, has had an ERA in the 2s. That is dominance. Even though it could be lower, I'm still not going to be mad over an ERA in the 2s. So that is the bullpen, guys, that I would want to look at. Now we're talking about the guys that we already have on our team. I just don't want any major injuries to our big stars because it seems like every year somebody gets injured. I'm talking Mike Trout, Anthony Rendon, David Fletcher. If all three of those guys can stay healthy for the whole season, then I'm going to feel very good about that. And talking about another guy that is already on our team, Jared Walsh. I want the Jared Walsh from the second half of the season. That guy was on an absolute tear. He was on fire. He played almost all of his games in the second half, but he really took advantage of that opportunity. He batted .326 and had 9 home runs, plus that super hot streak. You remember that? He homered for like 7 games straight or something like that. He was on absolute fire. The dude was walking on fire, and I think if he can play like that for an entire season, you know, he's obviously going to have like 1 or 2 cold months, but as long as he keeps that pace, then I think we will have our first baseman. Now, this one might shock you guys, and you might disagree with me, but I think we should let Joe Adell start in AAA. Last year, he got called up mainly because there was no minor league system. So they were like, hey, let's get him the experience. Let's call him up to the major league team. I think let him go back down to AAA. Let him gain back that confidence because he did not light the world on fire last season. He had some drops that were really, really memeable. I heard about that for probably the next whole month. If you put him back in AAA, let him rake, let him get his fielding down, and take the pressure off him because everyone looks at him to be the star player. I think that would be good for him. So I say give him a month in AAA, let him get raking, get back to himself, and start getting that confidence back. And I think that would be a great thing for Joe Adell. All right, now we're finally talking about free agents that are not pitchers. I want to sign JT Realmuto, who I believe is the best catcher on the market. He's a great signal caller and would greatly improve the position for the Angels. Max Stassi, who's basically our starting catcher right now, might not even be ready for opening day. So get him on the roster. This guy, I'm sure, will change the attitude of our pitchers, how they play, how they pitch, and all in a good way, all for the better. So get JT Realmuto. I think that would be a great signing. He's got a nice bat too. So let's get him on the team. That is something that I would greatly appreciate. And my final wish, an unnecessary wish, but this is like a dream wish, okay? We don't absolutely need it, but if it happened, I wouldn't be mad. So Francisco Lindor has been in talks to be traded somewhere. The Indians said they are not going to have him on opening day. They plan on trading him before then. So if the Angels, which I heard are in this run to try and trade for him, are going to do it, I think they should. Francisco Lindor, I'd say we trade Brandon Marsh, one of our top prospects. He plays the outfield, so there you go. There's one of our top guys. Then Luis Rengifo, he can play shortstop, so there you go. That fills his position. And Noe Ramirez. I really cannot stand Noe Ramirez, so if we can find a way to get him off the team, I'm all for it. A 3-for-1 for Lindor. We gave you a guy to cover his position. We gave you one of our top prospects, and we gave you a bullpen arm. So that is what I would offer for Francisco Lindor if they're really trying to get rid of him. So there you go. If we get Lindor, wow, that would be crazy. And I know I'd keep talking about our offense all day, but we need pitching. This is a dream wish, okay? This is an unnecessary wish. All the pitching wishes that I talked about, Bauer, Tanaka, Paxton, sign them. Sign one of them, please. Now, let's get into your wishes that you guys want for your team this offseason. The first one we're looking at, this is a big one coming from a Mets fan. Get Tatis and Machado for Alonso and McNeil. That is a trade that I don't see happening. You don't see big stars like that moving for big stars. But what do you say, Mets fans? Do you agree? Would you want this? This one's coming from a Mariners fan, and all he wants is the Mariners to sign some decent pitching. You got a lot of those names on the market this year, so maybe, but they got to make the move. For all the Yankees fans out there, this guy wants you guys to re-sign DJ LeMahieu. I think that's something that a lot of you want. Do you agree? Coming from a Cubs fan, he says trade Chris Bryant. He's been a huge player for Chicago in the past years. He won an MVP there. He won a World Series there. Is it time to trade him? Do the Cubs fans agree? Royals fan here, and all he says is he wants closers and some bullpen guys. I think you need a lot more than that, but that is a great step. I thought this was a funny one. Tigers fan right here says all he wants is for his team to win a game. That's all he wants. Here's a wish that everybody can agree on. Allow fans. We hope we can be back at the stadiums cheering on our favorite teams, our favorite players. We're all crossing our fingers. I'm glad I'm not the only one that thought of this when we signed our GM. Harry! This Phillies fan wants to re-sign JT Realmuto. He's one of the top catchers in the league. Do you guys think it's time to move on? Do you think he's going to go downhill, or do you want to re-sign him? What do you say, Phillies fans? Better pitching from the starters. You guys got a lot of arms in the starting pitcher department, but they did not play to your expectations, I'm sure. If you want to go out there and get some guys, there's a lot of decent guys on the free agent market. So what do you say, Blue Jays fans? What starting pitcher do you want? Don't say Bauer, okay? Everybody wants Bauer. If I included all the people that said they wanted Trevor Bauer on their team, this is what it would look like. I think we all know we want Trevor Bauer. Everybody wants him. This Cardinals fan says, sign a big bat. We need it. And I'm sure a lot of Cardinals fans agree with you. There's a lot of guys you could choose from. You got George Springer. You got Marcell Ozuna, DJ LeMahieu. There's definitely hitters on this free agent market. For the Brewers to get an offense, let's go to our resident Brewers fan, Bubble Pug. Do you agree? This Indians fan just doesn't want to choke in the playoffs. He wants none of that. It must be nice to be a Dodger fan when you're this spoiled. All he wants is Mookie winning MVP. They won the World Series, so he's just like, yeah, can one of my guys just win MVP? We don't need anything else. After a down season from the Red Sox, this Red Sox fan wants to sign George Springer. Now, personally, I don't want any of those guys on my team when they become free agents. Altuve, Bregman, Springer, Correa. They can just go somewhere else if you ask me. Do you feel the same way, Red Sox fans? Do you agree with this Red Sox fan? This one's interesting. This guy wants Gary Sanchez to the Red Sox. He's on your biggest rival, the Yankees. Would Red Sox Nation accept Gary Sanchez? This White Sox fan wants to get a good player and a good manager. Well, you got Tony La Russa, who has great experience as a manager, and I'm sure there's going to be a bat that you guys are going to pick up. And this Rockies fan is simple. All he wants is the Rockies to sign a free agent. He doesn't care who, just a free agent. All right, everybody, thank you for watching my 2021 off-season wish list, and I hope you enjoyed seeing some of your wishes in here. For all of the fan bases that I mentioned, do you agree? Down in the comments, like the video, subscribe, tell your mom, your dad, your grandma, grandpa, your pets, your friends, your brother, your sister, everybody you know to subscribe if they haven't already. I got this, and I will see you next time.